Hello there, Primary 7 candidates. Welcome to This Explainer. I am so excited to be your guide today. Think of me as your friendly teacher, here to help you pack your ultimate math toolbox for the upcoming PLE. Today, we're going to master operations on whole numbers. We'll take those big, scary numbers and make them super simple, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it step by step. So let's dive right in. Here's our game plan for today. First, adding and subtracting big numbers. Second, multiplying and dividing big numbers. Third, what is the commutative property? Fourth, what is the associative property? And fifth, what is the distributive property?
All right, let's kick things off with adding and subtracting big numbers.
Now, you already know how to add and subtract, right? But in P7, well, the numbers get much larger. So let me ask you this. How would we confidently add 615,146,144 to 320,005,614 without making a single mistake?
The secret tool here? Proper place value arrangement and regrouping. It's all about stacking them perfectly. You absolutely must line up your units under units, thousands under thousands, and millions under millions. If you do this neatly, adding becomes a total breeze. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 1 is 5. 1 plus 6 is 7. We just go straight down the columns to find our total. 935,151,758. Pretty beautiful, right?
So, what about subtraction? Let's challenge ourselves a bit. How would we subtract 239,610,510 from 596,148,320? Do you think that same stacking rule applies here?
Yes, it absolutely does. The crucial point is exactly the same as addition: place value arrangement. Always write the bigger number on top when you set up your problem. Line up your columns super carefully. 0 minus 0 is 0, 2 minus 1 is 1, and hey, when the top digit is smaller than the bottom digit, just remember to borrow and regroup carefully. By following the place value columns all the way down, we confidently get our difference, 356,537,810. You've totally got this.
Moving right along to multiplying and dividing big numbers.
Let's pull out the next tools in our math toolbox. Now here's a tricky one. How do we multiply 214,032 by 1,324? When a multiplication problem has this many digits, it's so easy to get confused or, lose your place entirely. How on earth do we tackle it?
Well, we just do it step by step. Long multiplication is literally just a series of small, easy multiplications. Step 1, write the larger number on top and the smaller one below. Step 2, take just the units digit of the bottom number, that's the 4, and multiply it all the way across the top number. Then, step 3, you move to the tens digit, the 2. But wait, remember your place value? You must add a 0 placeholder before you start multiplying. You do this for the hundreds and thousands too, adding more 0 placeholders as you shift to the left. Finally, step 4, add all those partial products together. If you take your time with each digit and keep your columns straight, you'll never get lost.
Okay, now what about division? Imagine this giant problem. Can we easily divide 3,816,648 by 132? Honestly, it looks terrifying, doesn't it? But is it actually hard?
Nope, not at all, because long division is just a repeating cycle. Step 1, set up your division bracket. Step 2, look at your outside number, 132, and see how many times it fits into the first few digits inside. In this case, 381. Well, it goes in 2 times, so you write 2 on top. Step 3, multiply 2 by 132 to get 264, subtract that from 381, and bring down the next digit. And step 4, you literally just repeat that cycle. Divide, subtract, bring down, divide, subtract, bring down. You just keep going until you run out of numbers, and it leads you straight to the final answer of 28,914. Just follow the cycle and you're golden. Next up, what is the commutative property?
Excellent work so far. Now that we have the basic operations down, let's switch gears to the magic math rules. These are properties of numbers that will save you so much time on the PLE. The commutative property is simply a mathematical rule where what number you start with doesn't affect the final result. And get this magic rule works for both addition and multiplication. Let's break this down. If we start with 4 and add 3, we get 7. But if we flip it around and start with 3 and add 4, we still get 7. 4 plus 3 is exactly the same as 3 plus 4.
And the exact same thing happens for multiplication. 4 times 3 is 12, and 3 times 4 is also 12. So if you ever see a problem written in an awkward order, you can just flip it to make it easier for yourself. The answer stays exactly the same.
Now, what is the associative property?
Let's check out our second magic rule. The associative property states that altering or changing the position of the brackets does not change the final result. Just like our last rule, this holds perfectly true for both addition and multiplication. It basically means moving the brackets around won't trick us. Let's see this in action. We have 5 plus 8 inside brackets plus 2 on the outside. Following BODMAS, we know we do the brackets first. 5 plus 8 is 13. Add the 2 outside and we get 15. Now what if we move the brackets? Let's leave 5 on the outside and put 8 plus 2 inside the brackets. Again, brackets first, 8 plus 2 is 10, add the 5 outside, and boom, we still get 15. The result is exactly the same. We can group numbers whichever way makes the math easiest in our heads.
Finally, what is the distributive property?
All right, here is the final and honestly perhaps the most powerful tool for your PLE toolbox. The distributive property is a rule that lets you rearrange an equation by pulling out a common shared number to simplify your math. So how can we use shared numbers to pull apart a really tricky problem and make it simple? Let me show you. Let's walk through this step by step. Imagine getting an equation like this on your exam. 379 times 27, inside brackets, plus 27 times 21 inside brackets. That looks like a whole lot of hard, long multiplication, right? But wait, look closely at step 2. Notice that the number 27 is shared in both sets of brackets. Step 3 is where the absolute magic happens. We use the distributive property to pull that 27 outside. We rewrite it as 27 multiplied by everything else, which is 379 plus 21. Now, for step 4, let's add inside those new brackets. 379 plus 21 makes a perfectly round number, 400. So in step 5, our scary complicated equation just becomes 27 times 400. You just do 27 times 4, which is 108, and add the 2 zeros. Boom, 10,800. We just turned a totally confusing equation into simple mental math. And just like that, we have conquered large whole numbers. You now know how to use place value to safely add and subtract, you know how to patiently multiply and divide using simple steps, and you know the commutative, associative, and distributive properties to magically simplify your work. So, my final question to you is, now that your math toolbox is completely full, which of these magic properties will you use first to impress the examiners on your PLE? Keep practicing, stay confident, and I know you're going to do amazing. Thanks for learning with me today on This Explainer.